2.
Welcome, guys. How's it going? Hey, everybody.
Great, thanks.
Hi.
Welcome to New York. Yeah, sorry, you just missed on like the most amazing weather that we had, and now it's kind of gray and more London-like. But what can you do? Cool.
It's not London-esque. It would be drizzly if it was
Right.
London-esque.
I think it starts that tomorrow.
This is tropical for us.
So you guys have this new album, came out over the summer, Last of Our Kind. And the first thing I wanted to ask you is just why did you name the album that?
Well, originally the album was going to be called Cliffhanger. And then we had problems bringing the concept together visually and also justifying the title.
And also Sylvester Stallone stepped in at the last minute with some legal issues on the title Cliffhanger. We sort of alerted him to it because we wanted to use an image of him with my face superimposed where his would normally be, which with hindsight, I think had we not done that, it might have been okay.
Slept on Stallone movie. Did you guys actually see that movie?
Well, I saw the homage to it, or the parody of it, in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. Right. When Nature Calls, the second installment.
But why did you end up going with the title Last of Our Kind?
Because it felt right. That was generally the idea with this album was we didn't plan anything. We just went with our gut instinct, really.
I don't think it's really a statement. You know, it's not. We are the last of our kind. It's more of a kind of. It's for our fans, really, isn't it?
What it is really, the song, which is not really the title track because the context of the title is different. With the song, it was about that moment in Hawk the Slayer. Just before they're about to go into the final battle with Voltan, the evil brother of Hawk, whose mind has been turned by his facial disfigurement and the emotions surrounding that. So one of the characters in Hawk the Slayer is an elf, and all of his village and his kin and all of elf kind has been slaughtered by Voltan's people prior to this final confrontation. And he's aware, before he goes into battle, that he is the last of his kind, and when he dies, that's it. There's no more elves, which is kind of how you feel when you've finished an album and you're just about to let, journalists hack into it. So it sort of feels like you're just about to go into battle, and I think that's kind of why we went with that, really, because it sort of suggests it's kind of that's how when you finish the record, it's like you sort of wait. It's the calm before the storm at that point, and you're sort of waiting
for the arrows to fall.
Yes.
It's so loud.
Waiting for the journalist to slag it off.
Did that take your head off? Okay, good.
So you feel like the last of Elfkind, in summation. You feel like the last of Elfkind. Anyway.
We're the last elven band. Yeah.
There's also, when I heard the title, I was also just reminded of the fact that if you listen to the radio now, there's not a lot of music just with guitars. Like, guitars are kind of missing in action right now. And you guys represent, like, just this prototype, a throwback in some ways, of just, like, this classic hard rock and metal. And there's just not a lot of that left out there. Would you guys agree with that?
There's less now than there was in 2003, isn't there? These things go in cycles. Sorry, Dan.
Throwback bands are kind of on the way up, aren't they? So you could say we're a throw-up band. See what I did there? Nothing's really changed in the sort of 10 or so years we've been together. There's still a lack of guitar solos on mainstream radio. The virtuoso element to rock music seems to be evaporating in favour of detuned power chords and overproduced records. So, maybe we are the last of our kind to some extent.
Yeah, I mean, your music cannot be made. It's like it cannot be made in a computer. Really, you have to.
Yeah, we haven't even got auto-tune on Melodyne installed on our computers, but it's on every record you hear. I mean, literally every record.
There are some good blues records being made. Like the kind of stripped back kind of blues rock thing that's going on is cool. You know, imagine if like hard / classic rock had a resurgence in the way that the Black Keys and so on and so forth are kind of, and the White Stripes as well, are doing stuff. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? But sadly, it is not.
Right. And the title track of the album features like 500 audio clips.
500,000.
Oh my God! From fans, right?
From fans, did you say?
Did I read that correctly? That there
That's
are
right.
fan
It's
audio
fans,
clips.
There were 400
Million.
that were whittled down to about 200 that were mixed for the record. Yeah,
What was the concept behind that, and how'd you guys put that together?
we thought we'd try and make the most out of tune record ever made, and there's only one way to do that: involve the fans.
These people call themselves the Darkness Army.
Yeah.
It used to be the Darklings, and then it never quite caught on as a fan club. Our ex-American manager said it was because it was a bit too effeminate. So the Darkness Army has really captured people's imaginations, and it's growing probably at a rate of 1 to 200 people a week. Any of you people in the Darkness Army?
These are huge stats for AOL. They're like
2, 3?
I see heads
blown
nodding.
away by those stats.
There's silent majority. There's heads nodding in there.
Yeah.
The interesting thing, when we got the clips in, we got the fans to send audio clips via their webcams. So most of them dressed up, normally as Frankie, when they delivered the vocal line for the chorus of Last of Our Kind. And we're kind of compiling a really awesome video of our fans' attempts. It'll make really good viewing, I think.
And you guys are touring right now, and obviously your shows are just out of this world and kind of fantastic. As that's probably why your fans are dressing up. Has it been hard to just keep going on the tour? Right now, you guys are 3 weeks in on a 6-week tour, and you guys are just known for going hard on the road in general. Is it hard to keep up with that?
I think we're quite precious about days off because it makes it. It's the only opportunity you get to charge the batteries. But I think, and we try and sleep as much as possible, which wasn't always an option back in the day. What with all that substance abuse that was going on. Oh, no, I mean the uncomfortable pillows was what it was. But they've made great advances in pillow technology in the years since then, and we're able to rest fully between shows now. So, right guys?
And I mean, is that because you guys have had some publicized problems with stuff like that in the past, like drinking and?
Even though I brought it up, I'd prefer not to talk about that.
Oh yeah, no problem. Okay, and got you. But how do you guys just like get into a routine with it and don't let yourself get burned out? And I saw you eating vegan sushi and juice. Is that like part of? Do you guys stay healthy?
I think it's one of the advantages of working in America is that even though there seems to be like a misconception that America is a country full of people that eat hamburgers and drink milkshakes all the time. There's actually, of all the places in the world that I've ever toured, it's the most health food available, easily available health options food-wise, and loads of vegan stuff. And that definitely helps keep you in suitable condition to perform. You don't want to be full of rotting animal when you go
And
on
also
stage.
having Rufus on tour this time has been a breath of fresh air. He relates to all of us, we all relate to him in our own kind of unique ways. And just the energy and youth that he's added, and the glamour, of course, having a blonde in the band is it's more fun now than it's ever been, actually, touring.
Well, I mean, speaking as a fan, he's like a dream team addition. It's like a fantasy draft pick that you get.
Yeah, it's like a big name signing for a struggling mid-table soccer team, and now we're suddenly European contenders.
Right. How did you guys link up? I mean, it's seriously like a match made in heaven. Like just like, oh, that makes sense. That his father was in Queen, and it's just that's obviously a big influence in your sound, and that's just amazing.
Thanks, Dan.
Very.
We have a mutual friend, guitar tech, a guy called Pete, and I think he mentioned me to the boys a few years ago.
Can I just interrupt you? Did Pete invent the concept of the banjo sandwich?
I heard it from him.
I think
first.
it's one of his. Yeah.
He must have
You know what
invented
banjo sandwich is?
I don't, but I'm intrigued.
It's a bacon and egg sandwich. So you eat it and you go.
We have the eggs quite runny in the UK. That probably wouldn't go over here because you like your eggs in your sandwiches really well done, right?
So
Am I right?
that thing on his shirt was yolk falling from the, and then, okay, guys.
Right, guys.
So anyway, Pete.
What were we talking about? Pete and his banjo sandwich is how we met.
Banjo sandwich Pete.
Banjo Sandwich Pete, that guy, he introduced... No. Fuck, what am I talking about?
How you guys met? The happy day where you guys met and linked up.
Serendipity.
Yeah.
That's how it happened.
Rufus was in Australia.
That's it.
We needed a drummer. In 3 days' time, we had the press launch, the album launch, and we didn't have a drummer. I'd been recommended 2 days. 2 days' time. This press launch was happening. Rufus was on holiday in Australia. Pete gave me his number. I phoned up Roo in Oz, and I said, Roo, hi, it's Dan from the Darkness. Yeah, there's a space round the back in the Darkness that we need filling, and I heard you were available. To which Roo replied, round the back, you say, that's my speciality. and I knew straight away that we'd get on like a house on fire, and it's been like that ever since, really. Bless Pete. But yeah, he had like the flight back from Australia to learn 5 songs, I think 6 even actually. Went straight from the airport into a rehearsal room with us for an hour, then straight from there to the gig, and then played. And it was pretty impressive.
It was a horrible experience, but but it was great. We pulled it off. I think I pissed off everyone on the plane on the way over there, tapping on my knees. But it's a 24-hour flight. It's quite a long time for everyone on the cabin not to sleep. So, but anyway, we pulled it off, and it's been great ever since.
I mean, the fact that you're still in the band obviously shows that you did well.
Yeah,
you guys are still together, and you guys have had a rotating lineup a little bit. Do you feel more solidified now? Do things feel really rock solid?
You said it.
Yeah, this is as solid as it gets.
We're solidified. Well, I'm trying to think of a metaphor that isn't shit-based, but I can't. So let's just move on.
Do you guys feel any pressure to you guys?
Can I just say that Frankie normally operates with a headset microphone, which is why he'll talk like this.
That actually brings up an important question. Anytime I've watched, there's bands with the headset microphones, you'll see the Stones, and Keith is on one side and Mick is on this side, and you see them talking in the headsets. I'm like, what are they saying? So what do bands say in their headsets?
Turn me up, louder. When bands are doing this, it's not because they're really into it. It's not like it's because they're louder, just louder.
Something always has to be louder, right? It's never like, no, turn that down.
Help me. Help. I have no idea what's going on. Sometimes, monitors are tough. That's the thing. When someone's watching a gig, you don't realize it's quite a different experience, of course, to be on stage. That's obvious. But a lot of what's going on is you have a monitor guy on one side of the stage who's mixing your on-stage sound. And if he gets it wrong, gigs can be a very traumatic experience when you can't hear what you're playing.
There are lots of hand gestures.
Blindfolded.
Like a monitor engineer knows that's kick drum up, for instance.
And also, just to continue on the stage show, you guys are known for these crazy get-ups and and just amazing costumes. And what's the inspiration behind them, and how did they come together?
It's a very individual thing. We each kind of take designs and patterns and maybe pictures of things that we like. And we have someone called Ray Brown currently who turns these things into outfits. Like my current outfit is based on my grandmother's sofa, complete with stains. We all kind of have our own.
You lift up the front flap of Dan's suit, some coins fall out.
I like to combine two concepts. So my current get-up is Barry from EastEnders. He used to be in EastEnders. Meets kind of mobster mafia. So it's a combination of cool and very uncool.
Barry De Niro.
Yeah, when you put on that get-up, do you feel, is that sort of part of taking on a stage persona, and you feel like a little bit of a different person? Now you're the darkness, once you put on those costumes.
I was forced into it. So
To be honest, putting those outfits on, I mean, you should smell them. I mean, it's not a pleasant thing. It's not like, oh yeah, now I'm ready to rock. It's like,
It's like slipping into a warm bath of excrement.
It really is horrific. It's like climbing in bed with a tramp.
Is there only one?
Right, guys?
Do you guys have a rotation?
You know what that's like, right, guys?
What's the Willie Nelson joke?
Pray tell.
Am I allowed to say a rude joke?
Go for it. It's the internet, right? Yeah.
What's the worst thing that a woman wants to hear when she's after she's gone down on Willie Nelson?
I have no clue.
I'm not Willie Nelson.
Wow.
Perfect. You guys recorded the album, to transition, you guys recorded the album on Valencia Island, which is I don't know how remote it is, so I don't want to just sound like an American and just figure that it's remote because it's off the western coast of Ireland. But why did you guys go record there? And I've heard the term druidal magic mentioned before in describing it.
Well, my brother has a cottage there. He married an Irish woman, and the family all chipped in and bought this place together. It's a cable cottage because Valencia Island was the most westerly harbour of Europe, so it's where they laid the transatlantic cable from New York to Europe, so people could send telegrams for hundreds of years, well actually for 10 years afterwards, before they invented the telephone. So we went there because we were trying to send a transatlantic
We were laying our own
message.
sort of cable.
Rock and roll cable,
So
if you like.
You guys were doing some repair work on
laying
the
our own
transatlantic cable.
dirty cable across the Atlantic. Get it?
And now we're here, telling the story of our cable. We're just cable guys.
Do you feel pressure? In 2003, you guys just had this enormous hit and this enormous breakthrough. Won Brit Awards, had, I believe, in a thing called Love, a huge hit that I'm sure everyone here knows. Do you ever feel pressure to just follow up on something like that kind of crazy moment?
I think at some point you realise that was kind of a career high, right? And there's only one way after that. At least, up. So we tried to go up.
To the moon.
We're kind of on a different planet now. I wouldn't say we went
We're
down.
living the dream at the moment.
We went kind of so far up, past the stratosphere,
Yeah.
and we're now on another planet.
It was unbelievable. It is unbelievable what we've achieved. Yeah.
Well, it's a good song, and it's a great album as well.
Oh, but the question is pressure, though, isn't it? I mean, I don't feel like we've ever felt pressurized to repeat that. I think it's more like, as Dan said, you reflect on it really as a special moment that not many people get to experience really, and very grateful for having had a music hit. You know, we never expected to have one in the first place, so it's good.
That is true. I mean, when we made the first record, it's kind of, I mean, it was such a crazy time, and it was such a big hit and a big album. But really, that was the song that stuck out on that album as being the most poppy for me. And to be perfectly honest, at the time, I felt uncomfortable playing it because the rest of the songs on the album were more hard rock based, and that was our audience at that point. You know, we were selling out venues unsigned in London, playing to 2,000 rockers with long hair, leather jackets. That was kind of our audience at that point. So, and then this kind of massive crossover hit happened, and so on and so forth. So, not that I would take that away. Obviously, it was one of the best things that ever happened to us. But I feel like we're kind of probably we've plateaued to where we probably always should have been, really, which is basically a hard rock touring band.
Oh, I wanted to ask you guys just what's next, and to me, the most interesting thing that I know about is this Christmas song that's coming out. So if you guys could tell me, you know, what's up for you over the next year, especially for Christmas.
Ooh. I'm too excited about Christmas. I love Christmas.
Christmas is a surprise, so we don't want to give too much away.
Aside from the fact that we've made another Christmas song this year.
The idea is
away?
Not to give too much away, but this year there'll be a Darkness Christmas song once more.
I think the idea is, well, in my head anyways, that in 7 years' time, we'll be able to have our own Christmas best of album. And that's, you know, I want us to be up there with Mariah Carey,
Cliff Richard, Shakin' Stevens,
Michael Bublé,
Motown.
Wham.
yeah, the Motown
That's the greatest
collection.
Christmas album, Motown.
Yeah, so so we're going to try and put one out each year.
Wizard.
It's funny, there used to be this race to number one in the UK. It was kind of part of our sort of upbringing. Every year it would be like the bets were on and it was a race to number one. All these Christmas songs were released, and I don't think that necessarily happened in the States, but it was a really great thing that was kind of wiped out by like the X Factor kind of competition model that releases its big song at Christmas time. It's a real shame because it was part of kind of British culture, really, and we were probably the last band to release something that was part of that race when we released a Christmas song about 10 years ago. So, yeah, it's a shame. Thank you, Simon Cowell.
For stealing Christmas.
Simon Cowell is the Grinch. On that note, we're actually going to go on to an audience Q&A. If you guys have any questions.
Hey, is there any artists or band that you listen to that people would be shocked to like hear about, or did you want to collaborate with anyone who's pretty shocking?
Well, there's a man who plays saxophone at the beginning of the Lost Boys, who's he used to collaborate with Tina Turner, and he was quite famous for wearing like a large chain, and he was oiled up and very, very muscular. His name was Timmy Capello.
I got a picture here.
Unbelievable saxophonist and dancer. So we'd like to do something with him.
Nicknamed the Sexy Sax Man as well.
We were trying to get him on the Christmas number, but that idea occurred to us after we'd finished recording it. So it didn't really work out.
He's more of a sexophonist, really.
How do I...
Can we get this on the
Where do I
screen?
point this?
Can we get a close-up if he,
Should I point it?
holds that up?
That one?
Yeah.
You guys familiar with the
stay
film
here?
The Lost Boys? Have you seen that film, The Lost Boys?
Another classic movie.
You'll remember him from that.
Rue, that's a picture of your penis. You might want to scroll it.
Get it? Timmy, if you're out there.
So Timmy, if you're out there, we'd like to officially reach out to you because we would like to collaborate with you, and we're being deadly serious. It would be awesome.
Hi, I was wondering if you had any rituals or things that you guys usually do before you perform on stage.
We used to do one called Ice Eyes when we were hungover all the time. We would take cubes of ice and press them into our eye sockets for quite a long time. And then while screaming, Ice Eyes,
Actually, there was we had someone do that for us, just to cover.
An ice tech.
We had nice tech, yeah. And the idea is that you spend 10 seconds with burning ice in your eyes, and your hangover goes like that. Don't try that. Don't try that.
The more you know, yeah.
Hi, I'm a huge fan of yours.
Where's that voice coming from?
Oh, right here. Oh. So, I love your song. I believe
Thing Called Love, yeah.
Called Love. It reminds me of my college days. Just want to let you know that. But what's your favorite song to perform on stage?
Ooh, good question. Well, that one's always up there. But you like Giving Up, don't you, from the first album?
I'm particularly enjoying a song called Mudslide from the new record, actually. There's a couple on the new album that kind of got riffs that I think rival the first record, really. And it's so nice to be able to play something new and genuinely be really into it. So that's.
I enjoy a song called Tullen Man. That was a medieval flavoured song. That was a B-side of Love Is Only a Feeling. It's really ridiculous, Hammer House of Harder kind of vibe, but it has a galloping rhythm, which I'm particularly fond of, which we also utilize in a song called Street Spirit, the cover of the Radiohead song.
I think we have one more question.
Hi guys, how you doing? Big fan. Very excited for the show tonight.
Thanks.
My question is, your music videos, they're outrageous, they're fun, they're crazy, but they still stay true to that classic rock vibe, I think. Frankie, I think of the Gibson Thunderbird, which is like the quintessential instrument of classic rock. Do you guys have a lot of creative control over your videos? Is there any one of you that comes up with the idea, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. For a long time, we would sit around with the director and just talk rubbish and come up with ridiculous themes, and I guess we've always tried to push it to be not so much funny, but surreal and just really out there. I think we're quite proud of the early videos that we made. And then on the last album, I thought the videos were okay, but unfortunately we were kind of we were dealt a bad hand management-wise, so we weren't given enough time to pick the right director and get our ideas across, so they were kind of a bit rushed. But I think we're back on form now as far as making videos. Like, for instance, we've just made a video for this Christmas single that we'll be releasing soon.
Which will be out soon.
Really plugging this. Didn't actually mean to do that. Which we've gone out of our way to make the worst video ever made. And I'm not joking. I mean, we spent more money on this video than anything we've done in years.
It's based on the Gap band, Drop the Bomb.
You dropped a bomb on me.
And it's also based on Top of the Pops, the British music show from the 1970s, when there was a dance group called Pan's People who would do these dance routines, and they would interpret the lyrics of songs in a very literal fashion. So there's a real charm there. So we tried to capture some of that.
We actually found the worst video camera in Hollywood. Like, it's ridiculous. We're in this massive studio, all these people running around, and this one really crappy camera that everything was shot on. Yeah, I'm quite proud of it already, even though we haven't finished the edit yet.
Well, thanks a lot for coming out. And if you guys are in New York, The Darkness is playing tonight at Irving Plaza, and they're also on tour. So go to the website, look up where they're playing, and get the album, The Last of Our Kind. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Thank you.
guys. Thanks for having us.
Thanks.